A big welcome back to the Young Hearts Run Free podcast. You join us for an extra special edition of our much loved podcast. But we're not here to talk about love this week, John. We are here to talk about quite the opposite of things, aren't we just?
We definitely are. This episode has been enraging us since Christmas, or just before Christmas, since December 2024. We promised the listeners a Running Rants special, Stevie boy.
I've been looking forward to this one with glee.
We should say we could have populated this whole episode with Running Rants from Stevie Boy himself.
Aye.
But we did ask listeners, as part of the unawards, to nominate or let us know about their running rants. So we're going to listen, we're going to talk through them, but we're also going to add in some of our own along the way. There's a number of doubles and trebles in here as well, because a lot of, we should also give a warning right now, there are expletives in this episode.
Hundreds of them.
Hunters, muchos, expletives, all kinds of stuff. So this is your warning. If you're listening with kids in the area, go and put a pair of headphones on. Or if you're in the car with the kids in the back, maybe listen to this in later. Get what I mean? So,
aye. Your work here is now done. Tell them to fuck off. Because we are entering the running rant zone, John, and we've got hundreds of content.
We have. Have we said what episode number it is? Do we care?
Nah, I didn't care. That's one of my main running rants, is worrying about what an episode number is. Who gives a monkey?
Here we go!
Right. You've caught me. I'm going to be shooting from the hip tonight, JC.
Okay. I'm going to start us off, right?
You do that.
With our listeners, and the first person to respond in any way, shape, or form to the unawards was spine finisher Ali Caldwell, previous guest, friend of the show. Ali's running rant was aimed at the male gender. Men whapping their willies out for an indiscreet pee. So, there's etiquette, isn't there?
Well, whilst running.
Well, doesn't it say if the men are still moving or they're stopping at the side of the trail / tarmac / sorry.
Yes. They're stopping for a slash, or maybe doing a slash on the move whilst whipping their wanger out.
Well,
this isn't indiscreet.
No.
There's men whapping their willies out for an indiscreet pee. Well,
yes.
There's nothing indiscreet going on here. When you're whapping something out, you're doing it because you're proud of something.
Right, you've taken this dinner. This could be the longest episode ever. Right?
It might well be. The most animated that I've ever been. Ali, you make a good point.
So, I think the wee word of warning is, or the wee word of caution actually, is for all the males out there. Just take a wee look round about you first and show a wee bit of decorum and just keep your head. Okay?
Have you ever witnessed that out of interest?
I've seen men pee, I've seen women pee, but if I do, I politely look the other way, because I've been in a position where I'm bursting for a pee myself. And if somebody's going to be bursting, because you can't, what it's like, you can't run right if you're needing a pee.
No, that's true. Stop and sort it out.
Aye, so if I see somebody having a pee, I just look the other way, whether they're male or female.
Okay.
I would do that.
Okay. I do remember running the fling, and we were running up towards Grimmin, and quite near the start of the race, and I was running along with this lassie here in a wee blether, and there was a guy in quite short shorts, maybe about 30 metres in front of us, and I realised he was wearing short shorts so that he could whap his willy out for an indiscreet pee almost on the trail.
Whilst moving?
Right, almost just stopping enough to hear was, and then back in, but almost just doing it blazingly.
But you're
That's no good.
Nah, that's not good, man. Well,
Okay.
Okay.
Right. What we're going to do, I think, John, is towards the end of the episode, we'll come back with our personal top threes. Okay.
Okay, so thank you for that, because that means I've got to take notes.
Aye. So kind of rank them maybe out of 5 or 10 in your head as we're going along.
Okay, I'll forget, but I'll
Yeah, you
do
will.
I'll do my best. Right.
But
Maybe just go through this sequentially.
well,
What we
aye.
doing?
Well, it's for the Yorkshire correspondent next, who was also quick off the gun and getting our nomination for unawards in, because this is almost in order that we received the unawards, I'm assuming. And hers are slightly less body parts, yeah, but no altogether still something to do with the body, because the first part is heavy breathers, right? Now, some folk are naturally heavy breathers.
Just naturally, that's what they do to
And
stay alive. They
they're
breathe
no
like
doing
that.
it. They're no doing it to annoy anybody. That's their benchmark. Heavy.
Yeah, it's either that or pass out.
Aye. Well, I mean, they're running, and we've probably all been there. Maybe you are a heavy breather yourself, and if this is aimed at you, then feel free to direct message Mel Sykes and put her right in her place.
Oh my. The other half of Mel's rant, I get jiggly keys, but it's no keys that's bothering me.
Uh-huh.
The one that, when I read this, the thing that came back to me, my first ultra marathon,
Uh-huh.
Go 33, there was a lassie in front of me for about 5 miles for the end with a thingy of Tic Tacs in her backpack. Honestly, I was going off my nut, but she actually spurred me on to get by her and finish a wee bit quicker. So, but it can be somebody with, they went to the shop with a fiver and they've spent 58 pence. Then they've got £4 coins and 42 pence in dross jiggling about in that wee back pocket of your shorts.
Oh,
that's annoying, isn't it?
Me being me, and man of my means, I'd just lash the money away. I'd hear a scramble, an inadvertent scramble, just so that one, I wasn't. It would annoy me that much that I'd hate my music on my headphones turned right up, but it would annoy other folk as well.
Oh, aye. So
Then you hear a jingle jangle.
No, it even annoys you yourself, eh? We've both done the lakes, and there's always somebody with a tin cup hanging off the back of their pack, bang, 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 bang.
I could just grab that tin cup and bang, bang, bang on the right one at napper.
Oh, this is maybe my favourite episode ever. We're only fucking 5 minutes in. I'm swearing on nothing.
We're 3 rants into 52.
Okay, so we're with Mel with the jiggly stuff, but heavy breathers, come on. That's cool.
And there's 2 for the price of 1 there, so Mel, thank you.
Yeah.
Next in, the miserable fuckers who can't even raise a smile when you run past them, and the drivers who can't stop for 3 seconds to allow you to run across the road. 2 running rants, Kenny Walk, first running rank, miserable fuckers who can't raise a smile. John.
Does my head in, man. We'll probably revisit this one as well as we go through the list.
Yeah.
Saying I sometimes, not all the time, but now and again, I'll do a wee count of how many times I say good morning to people, and I get a return to me. I love it when it's on a positive, but if it's on a negative split on that good morning, it actually upsets my day a wee bit. So I'm with Kenny on the people who they didn't even raise a smile. But he's talking about running past somebody. I'm talking about saying hello to people I'm going past, but also going the other way. I wonder if the folk Kenny's talking about is when you run past somebody, maybe they're a wee bit disappointed that they're being overtaken.
You've whipped their soul.
Yeah, so it could be a wee bit of that.
Bit of clarification there required, but you're running past them as in they're coming towards you, you're coming towards them, obviously. You've clocked each other.
Aye.
Okay? You've clocked each other, and I'll get all right. Can I raise a hand? And you just get blanked.
Because they're a fellow runner.
That's not
Right.
in the rule book.
Right, I'm going to slide one of my running rants. I said to you I didn't have a lot of running rants, but I'm going to slide one of these in just now.
Yeah.
You're going round the North Inch. What direction are you going?
I am going like anti-clockwise.
So somebody, it might be me, is coming clockwise, but it might not be me. But you're coming together like that.
Yeah.
Are you a yielder, or do you stand your ground?
I think there's an adaptation to my technique there, and depends on the other bits of the environment that's going on around you. Because sometimes
definitely.
there's a pram walker or a dog walker, and so I think I assess it on an individual basis. I try and keep my grundle. I'm not moving for fucking nobody.
Well, I've met folk like you, right?
Aye,
Whereas
fucking clothesline, right? I'm clotheslining you.
I am a yielder. I will give, right?
Tell you,
But when
tell you that.
I go, it's like when I'm there, it's normally like between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, right?
It's
So
quiet.
so you do get the dog walkers, you do get, but it's not generally very busy. You've normally got, it's just mostly runners and folk out for a wee walk before their work.
Yeah.
I'm maybe doing 4 or 5 loops or 4 or 5 nods to the owl. Somebody else doing the same.
Yeah.
I like to share it. I'll yield this time, mate. Next time you yield to me, and then we're all getting a wee shot at the inside track.
Aye, the short route.
Some folk didn't shift, and that's when it becomes a face-off, Stevie boy.
Back.
You know. So there we
I
go.
want to see you fly and drop kick them next time. That's what I want to see.
Right,
Scrap on the inch at 6:30 on a Tuesday morning.
But back to Kenny's second part.
Yes.
Drivers that didn't stop to allow you to run across the road.
Oh,
we're not going to we're not putting the YouTube out of this. But if you can see Stevie, well, maybe we can. Do you want to do that?
Aye, because
right,
I think you need to be able to see the dish on ones like this.
It plays a massive part, doesn't it?
Oh, I think, Kenny, you're right. Drivers who can't stop, just to give you that wee windy opportunity to run across the road. They're there. They're right up to the junction. You're almost over their bonnet. In fact, sometimes I just flee over their bonnet just to make the most of it.
Like Starsky and Hutch, for those of us certain vintage will remember that.
Like Starsky and Hutch, do you know?
Yeah. You ever slapped a bonnet?
Is that a euphemism?
No, it's a slap the car bonnet.
Oh, right. I thought it was like that was meant something else and sort of Leckham talk.
No.
Have you ever slapped the bonnet, Stevie boy? Oh, a couple of times in my youth. Sorry. No, I've never slapped a bonnet.
Okay. I've done it in anger. I've done that.
Oh, right.
What do you think means slap my bonnet mean?
I blutered the wing mirror. That is a euphemism.
So yes, it's Kenny Locke, and what we would love listeners to do is get commenting on this episode. Wow. Right, you put comments on Spotify and put it out or whatever platform you use. Get involved. Let us know whether it's on the actual episode or whether it's going to be on social media. Let us know. Update your running rants.
Definitely. And Kenny, just to finalise on that one, it's in the highway code.
Yeah, give way. Yeah.
See? There we go.
That's right. So
where there's a blame, there's a claim.
Ka-ching! So before running into cars.
Yes.
Right, okay. Let's go, man. Aidan Coyle. Jealousy. Everybody's running their own race, fighting their own battles, challenging their limits. Embrace it all. Comparison is the thief of joy.
That's exactly what I was away to regale as well, John. So
yes,
it is. Just live in your own wee bubble.
And I think I said this recently. Celebrate your wins. You know, didn't be looking because somebody else done it. And but you know what? We could probably go on a wee roll here with social media and Strava and people commenting on people's runs, whether that's a positive way or a negative way. It's very hard. to not be influenced or affected by the things that people say, especially if they're pointing their finger at you. But as Aidan says, let's embrace and celebrate everybody's runs, so be a good person. Send nice comments. There we go. That's all I've got to say now.
I do remember a time where we were having a bit of laugh at Run Club and purposely putting negative comments on each other's Strava, like between a close circle of people. Kind of saying, what are you running with a ball and chain on there, mate?
Aye.
Kind just to be a wee bit like anti.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye. You pulling
hear
a plough.
saying?
Aye. Yeah.
Pulling the chain, but then other people were seeing it saying, oh, that was a bit cruel. But it was just a bit of fun. So we stopped doing it.
It was fun, so we stopped doing it.
Oh, this is almost like turning a confession now as well.
Right, let's go. Steph McCann, Curly Steph.
Curly Steph.
Yeah.
People saying easy run and then running what would appear to be nothing but an easy run. Running at pace, yeah, but classing it as a easy run.
Aye, so you're blowing at your ears and you're saying, aye, easy run this morning.
As if to say, I've got a hell of a lot more in the locker if I wanted it.
Aye. I'm not
You're
even
full of
trying.
shit. You are full of shite.
And we can there, Stevie boy. We can smell them. Smell them from here. So Steph, where were you on that one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over to you for clear weathers, Stevie boy.
Okay. So it's cunts on bikes and fuckers not saying hi or nodding. Claire, quite a way with words, isn't she, John?
Oh, quite stunning, quite articulate, Claire is. But you know what? Nothing's left to the imagination. We know exactly what she means. And yes. I think it also goes back to what Kenny Locke was saying as well. So that's complementing that as well. We did say there would be doubles.
Yes, aye. And then, putting a something like chatty run with the boys. Okay. As if, and then you look at it, it's got all your PRs and everything in it. Wankers. Okay.
Right. Ben O'Duna. People walking dogs around the running track. Now, I'm not sure if Ben means an official running track. Yeah. Or a track, like I would regard the North Inch as like a running track, a place where people run or walk. I know it's a multi-purpose venue, but I'm okay with this leads on to other stuff as well. I'm okay with responsible dog walkers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Are we opening the dog door here?
Well, I think we are. Also, I have not got any issue with dogs, right? Because the dogs are just doing their thing.
I love dogs.
I'm on board with dogs. I like dogs. But I didn't want dogs running about my feet when I'm running.
No.
And I didn't want somebody saying,
I didn't want somebody. Place for a dog.
Aye, I didn't want somebody saying to me, he'll no bite you. He's just saying hello. I didn't want anybody saying hello to me, apart from Kenny Locke and Claire. But I didn't want dogs coming up to me and jumping up on me. So, I've had it up Canal Hull. It's a big dog. It came for the top of the brow of the hill at the trig point.
Aye.
It was running about my feet. And the guy, he's up the top of the hill, looking down, waving at me, going, thumbs up. It's all right. It's not all right, mate. I'm shitting myself. So that wasn't a good experience.
Is that when you got that segment crown?
No, that's when I had to use a buff for another reason.
More on that later. Okay. You've opened the dog door. Well, Sorry, who opened the dog door there?
Ben.
Exactly. Doug leads. This is Stevie boy. Side rant. Dog leads. Those extendable bastards. Yeah?
Yeah. The tripwires.
Honestly, man. Right. I'm coughing to make sure people can I'm coming. I'm announcing my presence. Especially if I'm coming up the rear. So to speak. And then that dog doesn't ken Dogs are unpredictable, eh? You didn't ken. They might be heel to their master. They might just go on their own wander. But if
Mm.
that lead is extended at full length, then what are you doing? You're turning into Sally Gunnell, the hurdler.
If you see it.
If you see it, because sometimes they're invisible, a tripwire, like you say. So
Mm.
get your dog leads under control. There should be some kind of qualification you need to be able to use one of these in a public place.
Before
Okay?
you can go with your dog.
Aye, and there'll be like the consolidated dog police checking in to make sure that you've got your license.
See, we're creating jobs for the economy here, man.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
if no, then you go particularly down the inch where
Mm.
there can be those multi-dog walking folk, Ken, who take hundreds of dogs out
Aye. Packs of dogs.
eh, and
All shapes and sizes.
and they're eyeing you up.
And they're all wanting to come and say hello at the same time.
Aye. And then sometimes a dog will be off the lead.
Mm.
Well-behaved dog off the lead is a well-trained dog. There's been a lot of discipline and effort being put into training that dog. And then they see me running along with my schwanks. And all the training just goes right out the fucking windy. They are going right for Stevie boys, rather voluptuous calves.
Mm.
Getting there like that. It's a fair bit of meat on them. I'll be hearing some of them. Woomph, right? And they're running along beside you, kind of doing that thing, Ken.
Come to
They're
say
sort of,
hello. Aye.
exactly. Well, if I'm not just healing them, I'm healing those dogs. Right in the
Oh,
coop.
oh. Now, to
Well, that's what's
soften,
going on in my head.
yes. Please
Oh,
keep
it's
it
all
there.
right. It's all right. Well, don't worry.
Now, to soften that
Mm-hmm.
blow of that, we're talking about the inch. I've got to know a couple of dog walkers and dogs on the inch because we're all regulars. We go at the same time.
The boy with the
And
beard.
there's a boy with a beard, and he's got a big like one. I call him a big Dulux dog. Dogs can look like their owners, and that's what happens with that partnership. The boy
Right.
and the dog look the same. But this is a guy. He's got a golden lab, and I see him. Whenever I'm there, I see him. He's there in the mornings as well. His dog comes to heel. It's off the lead. The dog always runs about with feathers in its mouth. Dogs like feathers for some reason. I don't know what it is. The
No,
dog's
it's
got
the fact that they've eaten a bird, John.
no. This dog must be eating birds for every day. But
Exactly.
he's got feathers and a ball in its mouth. This golden lab. But when I approach, and if you're saying you cough and you make a noise so the owner knows you're coming, the owner does something, shouts or something, and he puts his hand by his side, and the dog just comes to heel. And I just say, "Thank you very much. Good morning," and I go on my merry way.
That
And that's
dog should be at Crufts.
aye. I tell you, it could be right. That's Doug's. Right.
There might be
Well,
more dogs appear later on, by the way, because
there
I can
could
see a
be,
dog in my eyesight right now.
and
Anyway, the next.
also our
Oh,
listeners could, figures could plummet after that wee dog section. We love dogs. We're
but
cool with dogs.
me I was a dog in a previous life. I'm a fucking dog.
And I'm going to be a dog when I come back.
Yeah, you'll be like Ziggy.
Woof, woof,
Right.
baby.
Right. People, sorry, Nick Jones, people asking, what time did you get as their first response in a chat about any running event? Fuck off with your times. Ask me if I loved it. Well, there's folk triggered here. The volume of swear words per minute is probably exceeding the maximum limit allowed by Spotify. We couldn't give a fuck. We're still going in there. John,
We're here
what
to
time did you get at the lab?
have the idea, but I finished it.
Did you love it?
I did. I loved it. It was my favourite event of 2024, potentially a few years before that as well. But I'm totally on board with Nick Jones. When I read this, I absolutely loved what she said. But it is a thing people do, don't they?
Especially, I think, for the common distances, eh? Sorry, when I say that, 5K, 10K, half
Aye.
marathon, folk could ask you about an ultramarathon time and you could say any number in the world and they're like, brilliant. That's the beauty of ultramarathoning.
Yeah.
Take you 85 hours. And folk would be 85 hours. How long was it? I would just say a number. Folk will be like, magic.
Because they've no comprehension about what it should take or what it could take, what you could do it in. But no, you're right. Marathons especially, I think, or halves.
You're not right. Nick's right.
Yeah. So we're on board with Nick. Ask people if they had a good time. How much did you enjoy it? That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Run the Haw. You know those folk that see a running thing you've done, then copy it next week and pretend it's like their own. Aye. Now, Run the Haw has done a lot of work and created a brilliant running community that's now spreading to Glasgow and Edinburgh as well.
Yeah.
But he's put a lot of work in, putting sessions out for folk to go and do on a Monday night, Run the Haw. Mm-hmm. And what he's going on to there is just saying that other folk are taking that, doing it the next week, and it's their workout. So
I'd take that as a backhanded compliment.
Aye. Yeah.
It's like some folk haven't got the innovation or the imagination to do things themselves, and they're plundering your ideas and emulating them. Well, you can find that you're the pioneer.
It's good to be inspired by people.
But I think if folk do it and then acknowledge you for it, I did that. It's when folk do it and then what Dave is saying here, pretend that they were the founding father.
Aye, and they could be using that to coach other folk or for sessions for people.
Aye, to profit.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what he's alluding to. However,
there's also something rankled him.
But what I would also say is, Dave's got on his social medias, on Run Rahaw's social media, you can subscribe to a newsletter and you get an email every week with a workout and an explanation to do it. So if you want to get involved, sign up to the newsletter.
Openness and transparency for his newsletter is maybe why folk are copying it.
Maybe.
But then he stopped doing it.
No, definitely.
And I know that Dave is deep into Anglo-Celtic plate training as well now. You're on your own there. I'm not going to be copying that.
Well, no, unless you're wanting Bobby Burke alongside you with a bike.
Oh, yeah. That's my fucking worst nightmare. So,
right, but praise to Dave and Run Rahaw and Team Run Rahaw and everything they do for the running community.
100%.
And Running Rant acknowledged. So, there you go. Kev Robertson, Kev the Kev.
Yes.
Folk walking the full width of the North Inch or any other path.
But it means like maybe 3 people walking sort of shoulder to shoulder, and you're like breathing heavy, coming up behind them, breathing heavy, Mel. They ken you're there, and then they didn't yield. That type thing. Because I'm looking at another one just to down, John, for Jake Day. It's the same rant.
Yeah, folk walking 2 or 3 abreast. Sometimes the path's wide enough for 4 folk, but sometimes 2 folk will fill that space with their positioning.
Or they maybe just a big chassis on them. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about folk that position themselves on the lines. If it was lanes, they're spreading across 2 lanes. It's not right.
They've got one arse cheek in the left lane, and the other arse cheek in the right lane. I hear you. So it's 4 lanes, 2 folk straddling. I think that's the word that you're looking for here. Straddling.
But Jake is talking about, it sounds like a pavement, because 2 or 3 folk abreast expecting me to step into the road. Are they blind? Are runners invisible? It cracks me up. We feel you, Jake.
We do feel you. That's another thing that you want to just imaginary clothesline them.
Aye, because that also brings into play that in about the cars as well. You know,
get forced onto the road.
Safe. Yeah.
Exactly, and then you're taken out.
Or taking out wing mirrors, whatever you want. You know what I mean? So
Dicing with death, John.
How are you feeling? How's your heart rate, man?
I'm actually going to check it right this second. My heart rate is sitting at 129 beats per minute. My resting heart rate just now is 47. This is the
Running
good job.
Rants is doing its job. It's doing its job.
This is
Brilliant.
the good. Paul Summerhill. No lights.
Yes.
Oblique. High vis on dark nights. Runners, pedestrians, and dog walkers. You're going to hate to light yourself up. You hate to be visible, surely. But there's plenty of folk that I see on the dark nights in black.
I know, it's crazy, man.
It's like they're going burgling.
Already spoke about the North Inch. On the North Inch, you see all these lights fleeing about the inch because folk got a collar on their dug. But you're right, they're there like the pure black, like some sort of ninja. Going round the inch.
Hiding in the bushes.
Exactly. For the watching.
Dogs.
So get yourself dirty dark dogs. So get yourself lit up.
Illuminate yourself. It's
yes.
Plenty of gear and equipment out there that doesn't cost the earth and keeps you safe, keeps other folk safe, keep drivers aware that you're kicking about. Jobs are getting.
Good stuff. Lorraine Cool. You'll like this end, Stevie boy.
Okay.
People recording stuff like cutting their grass or raking the leaves as an activity on Strava. Lorraine, you have loaded the gun and Stevie boy's about to fire the bullet. On you go, Stevie.
They are what I class as fanjans. We all know what a fanjan is, eh, John?
Well, it might have our own interpretation, but yes, I'm with you, I think.
Absolute fanjans, right? You're right. In fact, I try to not go here. I had a pal, a good pal, okay?
You know your pal now?
Well, I'm questioning my friendship. And he was on holiday recently, and it was a nice holiday. Tropical beach, yeah? Really catered for Ireland. And he recorded a Strava activity of bobbing around the floating bar in the sea.
Oh, right, okay.
Unfriended him on all social media. Unfriended him on Strava, unfollowed him, deleted his number. He's persona non gratis.
He's gone, baby, gone.
So if people are cutting their grass and are proud to put on Strava, that's one thing. If people are rubbing your pus in it, I've maybe been guilty of doing it myself. On reflection, John.
Oh, man. Right.
Oh, well.
But, yes. But it's whatever floats your boat. Right?
Floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
Very good, very good.
I personally don't think I would be... I've not got any grass. I got rid of all my grass anyway.
You did.
But I wouldn't be doing things... I personally do it for activities like walking, running, hiking. That's the sort of stuff I would do. I wouldn't be doing it for things like that. I see folk doing it for like five-a-sides and football, but if that's your activity you're doing, you're moving.
No, no issue with that whatsoever.
Okay.
Take us on, John. Take us on.
Andy Campbell. This is fine. Andy Campbell's went nice and calm.
Okay.
Runners just doing themselves and not concerning themselves with stuff they don't agree with. They will do them and you do you. Get what? You can only control yourself. You can't control what other folk are doing. So if something that somebody else is doing is ripping the piss out your heat, then just let it go.
Take an imaginary pair of scissors, right? And then what you do is you get like a bit of elastic like this, right? Between you and that person. And then you take your imaginary scissors and you just snip the elastic and let them drift away into the ether. And just
cut the tie.
Didn't give them the time of day.
Didn't he feed them? That's
exactly.
it. There we go. Thank you, Andy. I think we've calmed Stevie Boy down a wee bit, but
we have. However,
it just goes calm for a second, and then somebody lights the blue touch paper. Mike.
I've not got much of an issue with this thing.
Oh, okay. Are you going to read it out?
He says mischief. Influencers. This is for Mike. Do we know who Mike is? Just Mike.
I think we do.
Mike the influencer. Not influencers. What happened to people just going for a run? Has to post everywhere about it and put up videos of how brilliant they are, even if they're shite. Are you going to resist that last wee bit? Because some people are brilliant and they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay? They are brilliant and they still put up videos of how brilliant they are because they are brilliant. Other folk think they're brilliant, but they're actually shite. Listen, like, people, that's one of them. Let them be them. Let them do them. Didn't let it bother you, man. Just go. Ah, well,
Aye.
they pick me up,
Exactly.
they're doing.
Get these scissors and just cut the ties. If
And
that's what's
if it's on social media, then just ignore
Aye, scroll past it. Just go by it. Just go by
it.
it.
So,
Greg,
but I get it.
Greg Turner, logging warm-ups and This is contentious, this thing. Logging warm-ups and warm-downs as an activity on Strava. Cunts.
Oh, I mean, that's a kick in the balls at the end, isn't it?
It was going well until that last word. But it just changes. It changes the whole vibe of the sentence, doesn't it? So
it does. You can imagine it, and then as soon as you put cunts plural, which means there's several people doing this, then the anger level has just manifested.
I noticed this a lot on a Saturday morning, pre and post park run.
I think that's maybe okay because park run, which obviously isn't a race, it's a 5K time trial, not a race. But that is a separate activity, right? You want to get your 5K time, right? You need to do a warm up. Now you can use a setting on Strava to hide warm ups and cool downs. Just saying, if you want to explore the Strava options, you can hide them. Yeah. So all you see on your Saturday morning activity is park run, PB, chatting with the boys, right? So, but what I think grinds my gears slightly is can folk doing normal weekly run, warm up, save it, 1.2 miles. The other session, save it. This session, cool down, 0.8 a mile. 3 activities. You with me?
Yep.
And the reason that they're doing it is that the segment in the middle, which was their tempo workout, say, looks really super because the average spot time on it is impressive because they've diluted the warm up and cool down parts out of it to emphasise how fucking faster they are than you.
But they're doing it maybe just for them.
No. Just that's why I think some folk do it.
Yeah, maybe. I'm the sort of person that likes each of the activities. I like the 3 of them.
Well, I've not got time to kudos 3. You're getting 1. You're getting a kudos for the main one. That's it. You're not getting a kudos for me for a warm up or a cool down.
So,
no.
Listeners, come into the chat. Let us know what you're thinking about this.
But listen, just the flip side of it. There's other times that maybe people are on a training plan that's linked into Training Peaks or one of the other running type apps that coaches and stuff like that. No way to mention any names on them because they are they can be divisive, right? But it's that's demanding them to do that. So maybe it's not even a personal preference thing. I'm just seeing it through a different lens. So maybe those cunts are not aware that they're being cunts.
We're talking about cunts.
We've got a cunt up next, Lee Campbell.
Lee Campbell's come in and he's saying, well, it's similar to earlier, when you pass a runner on your run, you say hello and they blank you. Cunts. This word at the end of a sentence is really quite strong, isn't it?
Oh, it's no good cunts, is it?
No, Lee's no happy, but
No.
I think it's going back to what the comment earlier. It's the same thing. So if somebody says hello, how not just say hello back? You know, a
Maybe,
gesture.
maybe they've not got their hearing aid in. They didn't hear you.
Maybe. Yeah. So maybe we should cut them a bit of slack. You make the world a better place.
Yes.
Smile appropriately. That's what we should do.
Aye.
Okay, I'm going to leave the
If
next.
they keep on doing it every time, though, then feel free. You can pause your watch, stop them, and call them a cunt to their face. Oh, didn't do that. Didn't do that. Okay,
Right, the next thing's
Andy
yours.
Hall. Yes, Andy Hall. When a shoe brand announces a new improved fit on the shoe that you love, or they discontinue it, need to find a replacement for my Rockwhite G275s. So Andy sounds like he's mourning the discontinuation of the Rockwhite G275s, and he's decided to vent his anger by putting that as our running rant of the year. When a company make a change to your most treasured shoe, we can all kind of relate to it. Times move on, Andy. Get over yourself, mate.
And we spoke.
I didn't mean that.
We spoke previously, a couple of episodes ago, to Damien Hall about people stockpiling their favourite version of a shoe as well.
What are you saying, like, John?
I'm saying nothing, but I know why you've got your blurred background on. That's what I'm saying. Right.
They're empty boxes, man. They're not empty. Empty boxes.
Okay, but yeah, Andy can probably. A number of people will feel the same as Andy. People have got a favourite shoe. I hear that a lot about was it the Speed Goat 4s? A lot of people loved, but you can't get them anymore. Or you can, but you've got to go and find them elsewhere. You can't get them in the shop so much. So,
yeah.
Mark Gallagher. Now, Mark's a speedy guy.
Yes.
He's a speedy guy. So, I'm being interested to know what races Mark's talking about. But Mark's saying races entering so far before the date with no policy of any refund if you can't make it, even if they then resell your space. So the race directors or organisers are getting double the dough for selling the space because there's no refund option. That's like taking the piss a wee bit, isn't it?
Well, I think a race should have a policy, yeah, that should be clearly stated on their sign-up terms so that you as a entrant to that said race know the crack. And if they haven't got a policy, I wouldn't enter it.
No, because most of them have a date that you'll get either your fee back or a percentage of your fee back.
Yeah.
And that's well publicised. So
yep.
I can't think of any races. I think you're right. I don't think I would enter a race if that wasn't an option. If it was so far in the future.
Yep. If it was so far in the future. And then usually, knowing how things work, there's then cut-off dates for race organisers to get supplies in, commit to numbers for things like first aid and etc. etc. So there's a point of no return for a race organiser that do you know what I mean? And they can't. There's no reselling your place because the race is all closed. So there's if a race is upfront and honest and transparent about their policy on that front, then that's great. If they've not got a policy, races who didn't hear a policy, getting Mark and I are telling you.
Yeah. Talking about races that didn't get supplies in takes us to Tam Gray.
No. Tammy Gray. Right.
Nay feckin' medals for the final finishers at the Edinburgh Marathon. There was a furore last year. Not just last year. And there's been a couple of years, isn't there?
There has been, isn't there? And that is just, for an event organiser of the size who organise a high profile race like that, I think that's unforgivable.
Yeah, I would agree. But
and it's
talking about cut-off times and numbers, but people have maybe trained for this for over a year.
And it's the back end of the field who are the ones who are out there the longest, are probably more likely to have been doing something absolutely sensational for the first ever time in their life. and they get to the finish line and there's no medal because the race organiser has cut it a bit too fine.
Yeah,
No.
it just doesn't it? And they talk about getting medals in the post 3 or 4 weeks after the event. It's on that day. You want it, isn't it? You want that around your neck.
That's bullshit, man.
Aye, it is. I agree.
And like, I do kind of hope that Edinburgh Marathon numbers, they sell less places because of it, because it's unforgivable.
Aye, and they've done it a couple of times. It's not just once. No, that's great. Oh, next up, Ronnie McRunface. If somebody was born with a running rant, it was Ronnie McRunface. If you follow him on socials, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I think there's a wee wind up merchant in there with Ronnie Runface 2.0. 2.0 for a reason.
Exactly. However, his running rant aimed at runners, actually, not training and giving your all into an event with limited places.
Aye.
So I think what Gareth, I think what he's going at here is taking somebody else's place that they would have, because a lot of events now, they are balloted, and folk are rocking up in big numbers to try and get a place. He's mentioned things like London, Lakeland, West Highland Way, and then he's talking about folk not giving it their all.
Aye. Yes. So, and you're denying somebody else who would have, done all the graft and sweat to get themselves on the start line, whereas somebody who's got a spot and then have maybe been fully committed to it and end up no bother doing it.
Yeah. I get where he's coming from with that. So here we think before you're actually signing up, is it something you're committed to? Or going back to that one that Mark mentioned earlier, have you got time to pull out and let somebody else get your place?
Exactly, there is that as well. If you are pull out in good time so that you can step aside and give somebody who is able and willing and wanting to do it. Flip side of this one, races and race organisers rely on people like that as well.
Yeah, they do. That's right.
And the dropout. So, just to get their race number. And I think the boy who does the lap has been upfront and honest about it when I've heard him on a podcast. Davey, what's his name? John?
Can't remember his last name. Davey.
Davey, the Irish boy who stays in the lakes.
Davey the lap guy. Yeah.
He was like that. I know that if 1,000 people sign up for a race on race day, there's going to be 650 of them. I'm pulling figures out there. And he knows that that's the drop off, and he's honest about it. But he's also got a really good policy for people who dropping out. But he's counting on those dropping out to get to the magic number of how many is appropriate to hay on the start line.
Yeah. West Highland Way does the same. They know that number's going to drop to a certain percentage or ratio. They know what's going to happen.
So, again, just seeing things through different perspectives.
Definitely.
This next thing I can't be doing, won't it?
Yes.
Yes, David Taylor. David Taylor of the excellent West Coast Ultra podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your lugs round that. A weird one, but it's people not realising how awesome they are. Even if it's just 5K, everyone that laces up is amazing. Everybody that laces up, and some folk who didn't lace up are amazing.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to one that was there earlier on, Andy Campbell's. Just let folk do what they want to do and go and embrace it. And if you know somebody that's a runner and they're doing something, somebody might be doing couch to 5K. That's mega. You never know where that's going to end,
Yes.
So it's mega.
Here. John, you want to take up the next one? It's a bit of a story.
It certainly is. Thanks very much for that. It's from Alan Risk. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read through it and then we'll break it up, right? The climate change. Be conscious about flying to race advocates. It's a difficult one to wrap my head around because I'm a climate conscious and try to make the right decisions in regards to kit, buying good long-term gear. Let's stop there. Let's talk about that. This goes on a wee bit. So, people travelling being conscious of climate change. There's a lot of things you can do to offset the carbon and all that sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yes,
So
aye.
just be aware and doing that.
Aye. Is it people being hypocritical? Is that what he's alluding to here, Alan?
Because he's talking about all these climate change activists preaching, but then you look at the race CV and they're doing UTMB, UTMR, going to Everest Base Camp, Australia, etc.
Yeah.
And what Alan's saying is, growing up the way that he has, for the background he's from, it's only been the last few years he's been able to go to afford and go to some of these places.
Yeah.
He's been to be told it's wrong when his lifetime CO2 meter would be a fraction of others. It sometimes feels as there's no appreciation of everything should be equal.
Yeah.
And they're right. It should be great for the planet. But if we, Jimmy, for Kemlin, saves up and wants some of the sites to say, fuck it, I'm going to run the ultra trail in Hong Kong and it's 3 flights and I'm going to get a taxi at the airport. Well, surely that should be, well, that's wee Jimmy's first big holiday. On you go, wee man. And wee Alan. So on you go, wee man, have a cracker, and not critiquing his choice of transport when others have had to completed 50 races abroad. Basically, I want a council consideration for the climate conscious. I'm 100% skinny boy with Alan Risk. Well said, my man.
Yes. Couldn't have put it better myself.
And that's the longest running rant we received, but I love the fact I can just envisage or visualize the smoke coming out Alan Risk's keyboard when he was typing that in up. I hope he typed it and it wasn't on his phone. He'll hit RSI on his thumbs if he was typing it.
It's very well written, and he's put a spell check on it and everything, because like for a boy for Kemlin, he's a good speller.
Definitely.
Well done, Alan.
Clever boy. Thank you very much.
Next, flaming hot lobby butt. Cunts that don't nod, wave, acknowledge you back. Cunts.
We'll just leave that there, eh?
Enough said. Next, John Spears. Car drivers trying and failing to be helpful. Tooting, waving and generally trying to be kind, but ultimately causing confusion. See, I kind of know what he means there, eh? That it's well-intended people who actually end up being more of a nuisance than they would have been if they'd just gotten about their business.
Aye. Now, you go. Just make your mind up, mate. You're in a big metal box. I'm just so
I'm going to slap your bonnet in a minute, mate. Slap your bonnet.
That's going to be a thing now. Look at a t-shirt made. Slap my bonnet.
Slap your bonnet.
So,
okay.
Debbie Hall. Debbie Hall's coming up with I think it's been said many times, people who don't say hi on the trails with a frowny face. Exactly that. So smile, just gesture to people. Make somebody's day. Aye.
That person who's frowning might just be having a really bad day or be doing in the dumps about something. So maybe it's all right sometimes, and just to give somebody a wee cuddle. Didn't do that because you then maybe getting
careful. Careful.
Right. Okay, next one. My name is Michaela. This is the person who submitted it. My name is Michaela and I run every day and pick up shite whilst doing so.
No, we're not at their aunt yet. We're not
That's intriguing enough.
That's just her name.
Does she pick up bug shite or like litter and stuff?
I think she's plogging.
Okay.
Yeah, she's picking up, and I see folk doing that a lot. You see, everybody probably does see wee groups going about picking up litter and leaving them in bin bags for the council to pick up.
Is that the person who runs behind me and picks up all my gel packets that I throw away?
That Michaela gets a bus to your bit.
Follows you a bit. Started on people who drop gel packets. That is the height of bloody laziness.
Also, have you noticed that the vape things look exactly like gel wrappers? The vape packaging, because I was going to be picking them up, thinking folk had dropped them. I'm going, save myself a fortune, but they're just empty vape packets.
Oh yeah. So anyway, Michaela's run and rant. Would love to have more means and time to do more running. My running rant is that I don't do enough running. Work-life balance type stuff going on there, Michaela.
We were both asked about this by David Taylor of the West Coast Ultrapod.
Aye.
about balance, and we both give different answers because both of our circumstances are different.
Oh, they are.
And we both have a different preference. My preference is early morning, yours is not.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, it's about how you, but what I loved what you said that for you, your runnings are non-negotiable. So you're making time.
You
You're
like
making,
that?
I did, I did.
You nodding away, going,
There was a
that's a
number,
wee
there was a
golden
number of
nugget.
highlights, in that podcast. I'd recommend people go and listen to it. But for me, sometimes I'll switch things about a wee bit. So I'm not as non-negotiable as you, but I do agree with what you're saying. It's about making time in your diary for that. But I'd be interested to know from Michaela, what is she training for something specific that she needs to put in more miles or longer runs, or is there what's behind, what's the backstory is what I'm saying. So
I know we're just scratching at the surface with some of these, eh? We don't know that backstory, but we'll find them. Reach out to us, tell us the backstory. Because I'm like, I remember reading somebody busier than you is running right now. But that's great. And you're going, well, good on them. But nobody's as busy as I am. Do you know? Not me personally, but do you know, it's almost like that, oh, that's great, a wee motivational post or whatever.
This makes you feel great, eh?
But actually, maybe you're just at your absolute limit and you've not got a spare enough time in the day to merit the run that you really, really desperately need. Let's move on. Joe McKnight. She started at a hard one, which I was a wee bit concerned about, to be honest, Joe. But the hard one is, as in, it's a hard thing to articulate a running rant. So chaffing is the only thing that she can think of. Chaffing. Chaffing is a running rant. John. You there?
Good pass, Stevie boy.
Are you there? Because I
I'm
didn't think
all.
it is a rant. I think it's just it's a controllable. For
It
me.
is, and thanks to Amanda Woodrow and Big Nax, not Amanda's Big Nax. I have my own Big Nax, but thanks to Amanda Woodrow, the Boots sex lube is a game changer, and also the wearing of Big Nax for me. I found out about these when I was wearing the undercarriage obliterators. Well, before the Big Nax and
There's another rant, right? Save for later.
Yeah, the undercarriage obliterators made me find the solution to the problem. And one of them was Big Nax. And then the other one was kindly gifted by Amanda Woodrow to the world about the Boots Sex Lube, which works brilliant. Other lubricants are available, but I think you're right. The chafing is solvable. You just need to find out what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could bet, like, when I imagine John's Big Nax or like Bridget Jones numbers.
Now, you've seen that Big Nax, Stevie boy.
I know, but I think we could maybe get a wee limited edition run on them. Young Hearts Run 3 JC's Big Nax.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that'd be good.
Then with extra reinforcements around about the groin area. Extra reinforced sort of stuff that can deal with the temperatures rising to about 1,000 degrees centigrade with it when the legs chaffing away.
I didn't get that though. I didn't get that.
How no?
Because
big chubby legs get that.
Nah, but because I've solved it. I've solved the problem with the Big Nax that you get. The ones I'm wearing just now are Columbia. That's the brand.
But are they just like lycra boxing shorts?
They're sportswear boxing shorts. I'm not sure it was 100% lycra.
You get a pair on Ron Hill as well.
They also tell you that they are the sellers of the undercarriage obliterators that caused the problem in the first place. So I'm no 100%. I know that Jim Boyle, so I'm sure Jim Boyle sent a pair back to them.
He did because they were
They were obliterating his undercarriage.
Aye, they obliterated his undercarriage. Quick smart. And his undercarriage. Speaking to Mrs. Boyle, has only just recovered.
Well,
sorry, Jim. Jim's even submitted a running rant that I'm aware of. Here we go. Oh man. Okay, so that's chaffing. Bob Barron and indeed Martin James, I think they both had the same one around about extendable dugweeds, which we've already touched on. So I didn't like to no mention it. Extendable dugweeds. Health warning. Boom. Fiona, who enjoys a bit of trail running. Folk not running on the left hand side. What the fuck? Is that a rule?
Well, it is in Fiona's world.
Is that like going down the left hand side of the corridor at school type stuff?
Or in the supermarket during the COVID pandemic?
Is that a legacy?
Well, I don't know, but imagine this. If you were going round the North Inch clockwise and I was going counterclockwise and we both stuck on the left-hand side, the world would be safe.
True.
You know? So I get where Fiona's coming from.
But if you were going clockwise and I'd going anti-clockwise, are you running a bit further than me every lap? Because you're on the outside lane.
I'm not going to say that because it's getting tracked on Strava, so I'm getting the mileage in.
That's how your PB round inch is so shite, John.
I've not got a PB round inch. I just go for the joy.
Shut up, man.
Hey, let the watch go, Stephen. Let it go. Okay. I can get where Fiona's coming from.
Yes.
But as we've already discussed, folk choose the line of the path or they straddle wherever they want to straddle. So that's what happens. Yeah. Sarah Johnson, I've been here already, Sarah. Dog owners that can't keep their dogs under control, and also walkers that walk across the path. You've seen them, eh? They ken you're coming, and they adjust the pace they're walking at to cut you off. They're maybe worth a clotheslining and all. These walkers that walk across the path or they don't move, even though you didn't even hate a cough because they've seen you coming 200 metres away. But they
You're scuffing your feet, you're coughing.
Aye.
You're singing. They think you're there.
They're just saying
Sarah? It to twist your melon.
Yeah. I was getting a wee bit. My heart rate was going up there. I'm going to come a wee bit back to.
Right. Well, I'll take up the next thing. Gordon Brown. The cost of new trainers. It feels like the costs have become ridiculous. So, a couple of thoughts. Trainers are pricey. Yeah, especially the fancy Dan ones. Yeah, definitely. And you can maybe get a wee bit of more mileage out them than you maybe think and stuff like that, but they're still pricey. But there's outlets that you can maybe pick pre-loved ones off that. Vinted being one that's popular just now. There's ways around it, or do we need to have some sort of trainer swap shop? No Edmonds trainer swap shop. For people who buy a pair of trainers and didn't get on with them and they can put them up on the swap shop.
You could. That's a good opportunity for you, a good marketing thing you've got there. Also, what I would offer is, if folks don't paying the big prices, they hate to cut their prices. So, and also, do you actually need that new pair of schwanks? Seriously, ask yourself that question. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, John, I will do.
There you go. Mike Dillon, Facebook influencers. We're not on Facebook, Mike Dillon. You're going to get nothing about that.
We're at podcast wanks influencers.
Yes. So, but I think Mike's touching back to that one we had earlier on about maybe social media influencers, and some of them do very good jobs at it. Others are shite.
Yes.
Derek Fish coming in with a contentious one. Self-ID and categories. So this is maybe going down that gender thing, isn't it? You
Aye,
know, so it's very, very contentious. And I know Derek has an opinion on it. I've
he
read
does.
some of Derek's social media stuff. We're here for everybody, I think, or I am. I'm going to say it quite openly. I'm here for everybody, how they choose to identify. I'm cool with that. So, will we move on?
Yes, I think we should move on. Ross Beveridge touched on this one before. People walking three abreast in a path and not moving when a runner comes towards them. So Ross has been more explicit in the direction here. Forcing the runner to jump into the road, oblique hedge, oblique ditch to avoid collision. Dicks, underused term of endearment, oblique, usually
Yes. Well,
not.
okay, yeah. So we've covered that already, and we agree. We agree these people should be sharing the path.
Yeah, just a bit more aware, but maybe just
Aye.
taking a good chin wag sometimes. And I'm sometimes being in defence. I don't know. I hate to get back to shooting for the hip, John. Hit me.
You're for the wee break. You're for the wee break, right? Nicky Sheridan touches on a very good point because
Oh,
Nicky doesn't say this. Nicky says how much stuff is, races, kit, etc., even fueling, is definitely not a free hobby. Remember that saying we've all heard that all you need is a pair of running shoes. Is it hell? It's
oh,
expensive, isn't it?
it is. It's like anything once you get into it. It's like hidden costs, or you get, I don't know, you get pulled along by the hype of something, or what other folk are doing. Oh, yeah, a bit of that. That looks smart. That fuel works. Much is it? £3 a gel. You start justifying it in your head. Oh, this is what I do. This is what I love. But Nikki makes a good point.
She
It is
does. And also
fat,
that
free.
and that fueling thing, right? When it should be £3 a gel, and then they're saying, actually, you know what? See if you spend 50 quid. It's like you're getting 5 free. And that's maybe a bargain. That's 15 quid you're saving. But then before you know it, you're spending another 50 quid. So it's a lot of money. Start hiding your spreadsheet, nothing. Seeing you're tabbing up how much it costs. Sandy Higgins is in with a standard one. Cars no indicating. That's not just a running rant. That's a life rant.
Yes, that's for our spin-off podcast on life.
Life hearts run free.
Young Hearts Life Free.
You're quite right though, Sandy. That does rip my knitting, so to say. So Johnny Wolf from Canada. Walkers that wear headphones are oblivious to their surroundings, and then they get annoyed when you give them a fright and you scare them by running past, even though you shouted and made yourself known.
Mm-hmm.
All been there as well, eh?
Aye, somebody shites their pants.
Mm.
Literally. And you sort of apologise to them. It's as if you should be apologising. You can't really help it. There's only so much you can do.
Aye. So just make yourself known as best you
Yes,
can.
this is becoming a popular one. The next one,
Yep.
Steve Himini, aka Dr. Stevie. We're waiting on the research, Dr. Stevie. Forget about it. We're not forgetting about it. Folk walking in groups that take up the entire wideness of the path and refusing to move when I'm running in the opposite direction. Like runners don't have a right to be on the path. You ken what I mean. This could be top of the pops in terms of running rants, in terms of the proliferation of it featuring.
Definitely. Dave Hutchison
Hmm?
mentions 3 things: running influencers, full stop,
Aye.
e-bikes, full stop, major marathons, full stop. The 3 don't mix.
I think I know what he's on about.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. There was a running influencer who at the New York Marathon, he wasn't running the New York Marathon, he was doing his video capturing for his influencing YouTube channel on an e-bike, moseying along beside runners that he knew, probably other running influencers, and succeeded in almost taken out a whole host of other runners because he was that just concentrating on his world. And it was at New York Marathon, a major. Yeah. I'm thinking that's what Davey's on about. And if it is, he can go and take a flying fuck to himself, that running influencer, because there's no way he should be doing that. And I think he got banned for the New York Marathon for it.
Good. So we're in agreement with Dave Hutchison on that one.
That's if I'm on the right track.
Well, I think you described that very well.
Yes.
Carolyn Duffin. Work. Finishing late and missing my run. They refer you back to Michaela.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Caroline.
Yeah, on you go, Stephen. On you go.
Well, one, I was going to wish Caroline a very happy 50th birthday, which I know that she celebrated within the last week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll not all be working forever and we'll never get to finish late and miss that run. So, onwards and upwards to retirement, Caroline.
I would also say it's okay to miss a run. Didn't you beat yourself up about it? It's cool.
Exactly.
So, okay, where are we? Helen, not Louise. That goes back to me calling Helen, whose middle name is Louise at ARF. So it's Helen, not Louise. Tempted to rant about runners, walkers being on the wrong side of country roads. We've discussed this before. I'll come to you in that. But I'd also like to take the opportunity to rant at myself, Helen says, to stop comparing herself to others. There'll always be people who can go further and faster. Just be inspired. Don't let it diminish your achievements. It's not a competition. We all lead different lives. That goes back to what Caroline just said. You do you. Run to inspire your daughter and don't get drawn into feeling inadequate when others are doing incredible things. Helen's talking to herself through me. She's channeling herself through me. So, but anyway, I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying about the non-comparison stuff, Helen. Stephen, country roads.
CUNT.
Yes.
People, now I witnessed this just last week. I was down in wonderful Dumfries and Galloway and going along a road in the dark, night time, and there was a runner in black with no lights, no head torch whatsoever on the wrong side of the road for running. So he was running alongside the traffic rather than not into the oncoming traffic. I was like wanting to stop and tell him, but I've tried to do that before and been told to go and take a flying fuck to myself, right? But I was just waiting on some bad news, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
For God's sake, run. If you're running on country lanes, run facing oncoming traffic, i.e. on the right hand side. Be visible, be aware, didn't have your headphones on, be prepared to dive into the verge if need be, because you can never predict what a car's coming, or if that car driver is maybe momentarily taking a glance at the radio. See.
Yeah. Or if two cars are coming together at the same time, passing each other, the road narrows for them. And to be honest, my opinion, a lot of folk avoid colliding with a car and they might not see you.
Mm-hmm.
So just be aware of what's happening. You also had it the other way when you were the runner.
Yeah.
Last year now, and that was a very close shave for yourself too, wasn't it, on a country road? So
aye, that was as close as I've come.
Yeah. So, but it's just about that awareness, and I think some of you touched on there, Stephen, was saying, didn't hear your headphones on, or even in your ears when you're running in the dark, or if you're not sure of where you are in a different place. Give yourself the best chance to be safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another runners who don't acknowledge other runners, please give us a smile or at least a nod for Alison Downey.
Well done, yes. Alison. Yeah. Rachel McPherson with a wee P. when people over-explain, or we've been here, haven't we? When people over-explain why their run was slow in Strava or make it very clear it's slow, so you said it. Very easy, slow recovery run. Chatty miles. And in Rachel's words, no one gives a fuck. Nobody cares about your chatty miles with whatever. How do you name your runs, Stephen? How do you name your activities?
Just whatever way the wind's blowing type thing, do you know? No, it's not all about the wind, but 10, just some things that's running through my head during my run. Maybe, very, very randomly. I think today's run was called Snaw, question mark.
Sometimes
There's a wee bit of snaw in there.
Sometimes I do it with like a song I've listened to. You pick up a lyric.
That fucking grinds my gears, that, actually.
Good. I shall continue.
I hate when you do that. Just wanted to make that very clear to you right now.
Okay, move. I'm going to hand over to you, our brother in arms.
John Robb.
Yes.
Okay, cunts at the front of the start of a race who dance round puddles when it's pissing down. Get to. So try to keep your shoes, rather than just doing the right thing and just kind of going through the middle of a puddle. I think John's referring to his experience at the lap.
Maybe, because that was muddy at the start, wasn't
it? And it was puddly, but folk were kind of dancing round the verges to miss going through the puddles, and I'm sitting there going to myself, you've got 48 miles, your feet are going to get wet, just get battered right through the middle of the puddle.
And it was 5 hours of persistent rain. Everybody was getting wet that day.
Aye, exactly. You know? So, yes. Oh, okay, John.
Richard Taylor. Boastful good runners in the changing rooms post-race. Everybody's normally away by the time I get there. But anyway, just unnecessary, and to do it makes us rude. Bit of changing room etiquette.
It depends what you're boasting about in the changing room post-race, to be honest.
Well, boastful good runners. Well, again, it's about interpretation, Stephen.
I'm just saying. It was a cold day that day. I seen Richard. I wasn't boasting about anything. I've been in changing rooms where people have been high on adrenaline and speaking up their race. Yeah, is that maybe what he means?
Well, I'm assuming so. They're talking about the running event. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I think so. Well, just switch off to the cunts.
John, I thought it was Jim Boyle there. It's no Jim, it's John Boyle.
It's John.
Walkers take up the full path, 4 abreast. What kind of paths? Where kind of paths have you got? And expect the runner to jump into puddles and bogs or the road to avoid them. We're totally on board with this, John. We might have to start a campaign about people walking single file. That's what we need here. On the left. And that'll suit us all, and Fiona and all. So,
aye.
Yeah, we've covered that though. But thank you, John, for your running rant.
Yes. Next one, James. I'm thinking what we're meant to do about this, James, other than accept too many big events on the same weekend. London, Manchester, and the Devil all on the same weekend this year. I'm assuming he's meaning.
The number of events and the number of events has increased in the last decade, hasn't it? You know, and the race, once we get into the race calendar, which we're almost into, well, it started. There's an event every weekend, and some of the biggies, they do clash. They most definitely do. What I would say is, it's still within your hands to choose what you want to go to, where you spend your money. Mm-hmm. Have you heard about the thing that went on sale last weekend? ARF, James.
Well, I did hear that the Auchterarder Run Festival 2025 had opened, and it doesn't clash this year with the Great North Run, because the event organisers were obviously imagining folk like James.
Yeah, it doesn't clash with G24.
It doesn't clash with the Fling. It's the week before the Fling. The perfect sharpener on the
James, one in. On in, James.
And you come, James.
So on all the socials.
So on Entry Central, just search for Auchterarder. ARF 2025. You'll be embraced in the Langton.
We have come to the last listeners running rant.
I've still got 7 of my own.
I know that. We'll get to you in a minute. We've come to the
Fucking
the last listeners running rant. We've probably been here.
Yes,
As
well,
you have noted, which means we spoke about it before. People putting separate runs on Strava for warm-ups each rep, plus people. This is a new one though. People running 3 and 4 wide to chat while in a race. So they take up that path, and you're behind them, Stevie boy. You know you're faster than them, but they're no yielding. That's just runner etiquette as well, isn't it?
I'm seeing that as some kind of challenge.
Yeah.
I'm just delving through them.
Would you do a bringe? Bringe right through them.
I'd do a bringe. Talking of bringe, I seen Iona Mackay on my training run last weekend. That was her dialect word of the week when she was on the podcast. Bringe. I do like that word. It kind of runs off the tongue. Bringe. Yeah, I'd bringe in between them. And maybe just drop my guts 5 meters in front of them. That's not come up. Folk crop dust their way around an ultra marathon and you're behind them the hell way. That wasn't even one of my running rants, but
brilliant.
You know.
So I think we've got to say a thank you to everybody that submitted a running rant. What do we want to do here? Do you want to pick up your top 3 categories out of that?
Nah,
you've not been keeping notes, have you?
No, I have a thought. And also, it was just to make people listen at the very end, as if there was something to look forward to, which there is.
So,
there is something to look forward to.
I've got one, and it's about people who are imperfect snot rocketers. Now, there's a wee trick to being a snot rocket, clearing your nose from anything that could be in there. And it's just being aware of who's around you. But some people just let fly, and then you're dodging at the back of them. That's a wee running rant for me. What about yourself?
2 for me.
Okay.
3 maybe.
Right.
Couple of Strava related ones. Yeah. Elapsed time folk.
Okay.
I think it was born it most came into my focus during the global pandemic. Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. I've heard this a few times, folks.
When people would be claiming 5k PBs. Yeah.
To canoe.
Right. 17-minute 5k PB. And then maybe they were new to Strava and didn't realise that there was a flaw in their plan and that elapsed time shows, yeah. So they were maybe doing it in 200-meter sprints and then stopping in a minute and a half, 2-minute rest, and then another 200 meters to get to their 5k PB. So yes, we see you, elapsed time folk. Other people, that's actually part of their session. Do you know, is they have static recovery. And so that's all right. But just say that in your run description or something, you know. Like just, you know, then people can't snoop into your Strava details and judge you.
Because we all do that. If you see a good one, if you see a good PB, the first thing you do, elapsed time. Look at that, pal.
Sneaky bastards. We're on to you, and 99% of people are on to you. So yes, and then my other Strava one that really biles my pish is, so I'm doing a London Marathon and my time is decent-ish, but my distance is 26.58 miles on my watch, on my Strava activity, 26.58 miles. Claiming your marathon PB when you cross 26.2 miles on your watch. So in other words, it would come up, your marathon time on Strava would come up, yeah?
Yep.
And saying, well, my official time was wrong because the course was long. But come on. Come on.
Yeah, you cross the start mat and you cross the finish mat,
Yeah.
don't you?
Maybe your GPS bounced off a few buildings. Maybe it dropped a wee moment. Maybe you just meandered further through the blue line, which is the point-to-point route of the start to finish, a few times. And it all adds up over the course of the distance. But your time is your time. It's when you cross the start line to when you cross the finish line.
Yes. Agreed. Now, is that you? Have you got
Well,
another?
I've got one more that is
Okay.
the Strava, but you've got one, haven't you? About the distances of races.
Yeah.
Race organisers ersing up.
Race organisers about having distances measured properly. It's happened a couple of times, quite high profile ones.
Yep.
That some has maybe measured sometimes like 500 meters short. You know what I mean? So people are hitting PBs and then they find out actually you've not covered that distance. So it should not happen. It has happened. It'll probably continue to happen. But how difficult can it be for race directors to actually measure a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon? You know, it's probably a minority, but that annoys me because I see people being robbed of their dreams. They've worked hard to get themselves to a position where they're achieving that time and then it's taken away from them. And they can't just go out and fix it because that race is not running again to the next year. Do you know what I mean? So that annoys me. That doesn't happen at Auchterarder.
No, it doesn't. And what else doesn't happen at Auchterarder is runners going the wrong way because there's no clear signage.
Yeah.
Which has happened more than it should have.
Definitely.
Over the years of races. Like, that's just unforgivable again. No.
And nobody goes home with a medal for Auchterarder.
Oof, hell no. No, you go home with 3 if you enter the double dare, John. 3.
Yeah. What day is it this year?
The 13th and 14th of September. Yeah. The second weekend of September is ARF.
EntryCentral.com.
Entry Central. Love ARF. So, yes, we'll see you there. My biggest running rant, John. Do you want to know what my biggest running rant is? Because it's no come up.
It's all been building up to this moment.
It's no massively controversial, but it's pavement parking.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Pavement parking, which is in focus just now because there's new legislation that local councils are able to issue tickets for pavement parking, and some councils have adopted it in Scotland and others not yet. I think Edinburgh were the first. As probably a revenue stream, but obviously the main reason is to safeguard pedestrians, including us runners. Yeah. So it's how then it forces you to go out onto the road into the death zone. Yeah. Because of a car parked up on the pavement. Or a van. Or a delivery van. Parked up on the pavement numerous times whilst you're going down the same street, and every time you're going out onto a busy road and you're thinking, what about the person pushing a pram who can't get past? What about the wheelchair user who can't get past? No. What about the kids walking to school who are now on a main road because you're parking on the fucking pavement? What about the person who parks on a pavement with their lights on full beam on the wrong side of the road at night time and you can't see a bloody thing, and then you chap on their window and say, what you doing? And you're the criminal. I'm slapping their bonnet, John. And they're not enjoying it. Yeah?
Well, yeah, you've brought together, consolidated a number of running rants in there about the the access that people have on pavement. It's about runners going into the road. But this isn't just about runners, it's about everybody.
Yeah,
Anybody that's not walking or moving along that pavement or attempting to. So if you're a pavement parker, let that be a thing of the past.
I'll be taking a picture of said pavement parking and submitting it to the appropriate authorities for action.
And if you see a pavement parker and their windies are dirty, right on their windy with your finger, don't be a dick. There you go.
Pavement park at the top of the pops, who'd have thought it?
Right.
Okay, and my very, very, no, in fact, I'm going to leave this one. Right, we'll leave this one till we finish up. John, we have, in fact, we've hit loads of dialect words there, by the way. Loads of dialect words have come out. Fanjan being probably an underused term just to describe somebody who is an extreme fanny, a fanjan, right?
Yep.
Well used at Perth Grammar School. Not quite sure of the posh school that you went to.
We wouldn't use words like that.
No, you wouldn't get away with it in the corridors of such a place.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So we are looking though for songs. Yeah. Running rant related songs. John.
Well, I'm gonna try and change the dynamic here, right? Because I'm not into being a ranter.
But you're adopting a persona for an episode.
But what I'm going to go with is a song by Angry Anderson called Suddenly. I'm going to go with that. I'm not want to be angry, man.
Is that for the Jason Donovan Kylie Minogue marriage?
Aye. I'm going with that.
Fucking big soppy bastard.
Get that in your playlist.
Suddenly by Angry Anderson is on the playlist.
There you go. What about yourself?
Every time that comes up, I'll be thinking of you, John.
Perfect.
I think of you lots, to be honest, as it is, but I'm thinking even more.
It could be my Strava running title the bottom morning.
Aye, it will be. Let's just say that. It will be. My song contribution is an angry song. Yeah? It is an angry song for an angry bastard. It's Khalees Caught Out There. You know the one, I hate you so much right now.
Yeah, I know that one.
Great, a fucking angry fucking dick.
And it just lets the release out, man.
Aye, yes. Yeah, so they're my song of the contribution to the Young Hearts Run Free with Buff Volume 8.
Maybe what we'll do, we'll see if we can do this. We'll have a mix of both of these tunes as they play out music.
They didn't coexist together.
No, so. We'll see if we can blend them in. We'll see if we can do something.
Yes.
Okay, man.
That's us. That was, I don't know, an hour and a half.
Easy that. This could be the last episode of the Young Hearts podcast. This could get us pulled. This could get us pulled off the airwaves. A number of listeners might choose to go, what are these guys ranting about, man? What's all that about? But it's been a blast.
It's just a tongue-in-cheek look through some of our annoyances, and agree, disagree, whatever. Get in about it over on our socials and let us know.
Yeah, and we hope that if you're listening to this, as we think a lot of people do, and you're out on your long run at the weekend, that we're providing you with a wee bit of a chuckle, a bit of a laugh, and you're enjoying what you're listening to. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you.
Exactly. And my last running rant, John, is biggest, most, probably one that I want to highlight the most is my biggest running rant is folk who hate running rants.
You hate to elaborate a wee bit on that, man.
That's it. All that's just went before us is just a load of shite. Get over yourself. That's it.
That's so brilliant, man. What a way to wrap it up. Absolutely fantastic. Stephen, it's been a long time since we've done an episode without a guest, and we've been each other's guests. So thank you very much for your time. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Me too. Let's do this again sometime soon.
Young Hearts rant free.